time for another podcast on Rage Select. It's time for the Don Matrick Memorial Podcast.
Yeah.
The Don Matrick, Jack Trenton Memorial. We just add everybody who quits onto the title of this.
Yeah. You're next, Reggie.
That's right. Oh man, what would it be like? Let's see. I want a picture like a velvet dogs playing cards of Reggie and Jack Trenton and like
Don
Matrick and I don't know, maybe Miyamoto or something like playing
Hideo.
cards. Yeah. Well, no, I just keep it to people who have been like making consoles or in that business. I don't know if Don Matrick actually belongs. Maybe he could be serving drinks in that picture.
No, he can be in the GIMP mask in the background.
Right. So. Jason, I don't think I've talked to you since you got back from the madness. What was South by Southwest?
Really?
I don't think we've done. It was last week I did the podcast with Grant, right?
Yeah,
because you were all out, painting it down and whatever.
Yes, that happened.
All right, so I want to get how many celebrities did you do coke off of at South by Southwest?
Less than 5.
Less than 5.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a slow year this year.
Yeah, it was not a lot going on.
Okay. Well, what were the highlights? I didn't do shit but play Dark Souls 2. I don't have any stories. I got one terrible story about getting drunk last week. That's all I got. So.
It kicked my ass. And the thing with South by Southwest is you want to do everything, but there's too much.
Right.
It would take you months to see everything.
Yeah.
And there's no way. I saw some movies.
Would you see any good stuff? Did you see any?
Most of the movies I saw were really good.
What was the best one?
The one that really sticks out for me is an Australian film called The Infinite Man.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a Time Crimes, if you saw that.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about
by
this.
Nacho Vigalondo.
Right.
But it's kind of like Time Crimes if Time Crimes were a romantic comedy. And it's a labyrinth of a time travel plot.
Okay.
It's very good. It's funny.
Do they? Okay, so normally a lot of times in time travel, the breakdown point is that they get so fucked up that it collapses under the weight of its own logic. They're smart enough here. That didn't really happen. You weren't like...
No, actually, it embraces that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. I don't know when you're going to be able to see it, but it was really good. There's also one directed by Adam Wingard called The Guest.
Okay.
Which is, he did You're Next.
That was...
a home invasion film that came out last year.
Oh, okay. Was that... Oh, no, I'm thinking of The Purge. It's like a dude with a pig mask or something on the front of it?
They had animal masks,
Oh, okay.
these people invading the house. But The Guest wasn't so much a horror film, but had a lot of horror notes to it. And it was, what if... Jason Bourne were actually Michael Myers.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I would totally like to watch that movie.
It was good. It had some morbid humor to it, and it was fun. It was really cool.
Cool. Did you see any bands of note?
I didn't see any bands.
Really?
I even skipped some of my favorite bands.
Really?
Just because I was either tired or busy or standing in line or something like that.
Okay.
Like I skipped the Toadies. Riverboat Gamblers played a couple of times. I missed that.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga played a show. I didn't go see that because I don't.
Why didn't you go see Lady Gaga, Jason?
I don't care.
You're a fan, right?
Nope.
I saw a picture on some blog of her, like, on stage. I think it was at Stubbs, right, that she was playing.
I think so.
And, like, behind her, I don't know if it was photoshopped or what, there was, like, a giant neon Doritos sign.
Oh, no. She was there at the behest of Doritos.
What is Lady Gaga?
She was promoting Doritos.
What does that have to do? Was she wearing, like, a Doritos dress? A dress made out of Cool Ranch? Or...
yeah, I don't understand what that was all
what
about.
Is that the official chip of...
Rage Select will sell out to Doritos.
We'll sell out to anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
I was drunk. I was watching the music video for "Sell Out" by Real Big Fish, and I was just like,
yes,
someday. Though I was writing this thing on Facebook, it's like, someday a man will come to us with a briefcase full of drugs and money, and we will demand 3 briefcases full of drugs and money. And we will do all the drugs, and we will spend all the money, and then we will give him the finger.
Where is that man?
Where is that man?
Come
Are you
to us.
listening, man with the briefcase full of drugs and money? This is going to be like a Twilight Zone episode, actually.
Yeah, there's going to be a knock at the door in a second.
Damn it. You're Satan, aren't you? Are you Satan? You've got to tell me if you're Satan. Well, I also hear that you met a celebrity, one celebrity.
Well,
Half a celebrity?
a couple of quasi-celebrities and celebrities.
Was
and
it
stuff
Carrot
like that.
Top?
No, I didn't meet Carrot Top. I would have challenged him to a duel.
He would have won, dude. He's a monster.
Not a fist fight.
Oh, like a...
But just because he's got those implanted muscles doesn't mean he can use them.
I don't know. I don't know who my money's on in a fight between Jason Murphy and Carrot Top.
You son of a bitch.
It depends on whether your wife is there. The Murphys together can overcome any obstacle.
Oh, yeah, the fighting Murphys. No, I met a couple of cool people who I wanted to have on the show while they were in town.
Right.
But we just weren't able to make it happen. And they were willing to, they wanted to, but like Veronica Belmont, she used to do Techzilla and stuff like that. She was really cool. Ali Spagnola.
Okay.
She does a lot of she does the Power Hour. Ali was really cool, funny girl. But yeah, we just couldn't connect, couldn't make it happen. And I met Jared Padalecki
From Supernatural.
Sam Winchester from one of my favorite TV shows.
Did you get him to record like your voicemail message? Or
No, that was a good idea.
grab his butt or something?
No,
or
we sat there just drinking Lone Star and whiskey for a while, and
right.
yeah, he was really cool.
Okay.
I never did run into Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Damn it. Son of a bitch.
Didn't run into him. There were lots. Hodor was here.
Was he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just walking around the streets nude. Like you're going, Hodor.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It turns out that he's not actually acting. He just likes to get really wasted. And then he can only just say,
Well, shit, if you were Hodor, what would you do?
I'd get wasted.
really drunk and walk around naked.
I would walk into bars and just like pound on the bar and say, Hodor!
Show me some ID. Hodor.
And then when they like gave you a drink, like throw the drink off the side of the bar, just like just bash it away with one hand and say, Hodor!
Yes.
I don't understand what you want, Mr. Hodor.
But yeah, that was it was a good time.
Okay.
This was the night we went to promote Rage Select at the Night Attack party.
Oh, yeah.
At the Handlebar, and Tay Allen performed there, and she was a nice gal. And after you guys left, that's when I ran into Jared Padalecki and was like, "Oh yeah, here, let me buy you a drink.
Right.
Let me buy you another drink. Let's do a shot, okay?" You know.
Has Allison? Is she a fan
of
Jared Padalecki?
Oh yeah, no, she's one that got me turned on to Supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she? I mean, was she like, "You son of a bitch, why didn't you call me?" Or I mean, because we were walking through the rain for 60 miles.
Oh
from
no,
where you
I got in
parked.
trouble for that night because I don't really remember a lot of it. At one point, we were walking through downtown Austin in the rain, the heavy rain, not just a drizzle, heavy rain.
Yeah.
And it was me and Brian and Justin Robert Young and Brian's wife, Bonnie, and Tom Merritt, who does a lot of tech podcasts online, good guy, Veronica Belmont, Ali Spagnola, a handful of other people. We're walking in the rain, and Brian has a megaphone.
Yeah.
Which is a bad idea anyway.
I wouldn't give Brian Brushwood a megaphone.
But he's hammered.
Right.
Right? And we're walking through downtown. We walk by a bar that's empty, and he's like, "Well, that looks like a shitty time. I wouldn't want to be in that bar," with his megaphone, with the bullhorn. And so we're just walking through the rain back to their car, and Brian's just talking shit to everyone.
Wow.
With this megaphone. And then we went back to Brian's house, and we played a lot of video games and drank a lot of bourbon. And the night was spotty. I think Allison came and picked me up at like 5, 6 in the morning.
God damn.
Yeah, and I was in trouble.
Well, yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
I don't know. I end up staying up until 5 or 6 in the morning every time I go out anyway. So
You don't have anyone to answer to,
well, this
though.
is very true.
Just Dr. Dog.
Just my dog. Yeah, he's real amenable. He doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like on Monday, I got drunk on Sunday night. I got drunk the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to the bar, going to Jim's, coming home, and then drinking the rest of the beer that was in my fridge. Like right as I was getting sobering up, I decided I'm going to just drink more
Which
beer.
is why there are no Lone Stars for me that I put into your fridge.
There was one. When I say all the beer, I meant there was one.
You left
Lone
one
Star tall boy.
Conciliatory.
No, you left one and I drank it.
And you drank. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's the one.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why there's no Lone Star for me when I put Lone Star into your Lone Star box.
What are you, the fucking Captain Jack Sparrow of Lone? Where is all the Lone Star gone?
So this last weekend, though,
yeah,
Brian Brushwood does Scam School, right? Mm-hmm. And they did some ads for domain.com.
Okay. Is he rich now? Do we need to do domain.com ads?
He's not rich now.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Not because of that, anyway. Maybe he robbed somebody, but he had me.
Oh, never mind.
You could see the video online in one of the latest Scam Schools at about the 2-minute mark. There's a video about how Brian faked his own death and dropped off the grid.
Right.
And I narrate this.
Okay.
Documentary style. Brian called me over. I show up at his house Saturday afternoon. I walk up, and Brian has this giant fake beard on, and he's sitting in a tent drinking soy sauce.
Well, this is before you started filming. Or they were
filming.
Okay, I'm like, he's a method actor. That's what's going on. Okay.
And he's sitting there drinking soy sauce.
That can't be good.
Spouting gibberish.
Right.
At the camera. So I helped them film, or I walked around while he and his assistant filmed that rant. Then there's a part where he spills all this soy sauce on the floor of the tent, and then he soaks it up with a bunch of paper towels, and then cocks his head back and wrings out the paper towels into his mouth.
That sounds incredibly disgusting.
Yeah. He reeked of soy sauce.
Well, yeah.
All afternoon. I was like, Brian, this is gross. This is a new low. But if you go onto Scam School's YouTube page, you can see these videos. You can see the unedited version as well, the extended cut.
Jesus.
It's hilarious and disturbing.
That sounds absolutely terrible. Is it like when you two get within close proximity of each other, just the horribleness quotient of the world just starts rising slowly?
Well, yes. But he had already started this shit.
Okay.
And I started throwing out suggestions when I was there and just made it that much worse. And he's like, I don't think domain.com would appreciate the racism that you're suggesting. I'm like, it's just against the Viet Cong, dude. Nobody's going to care about that.
I feel like we need to get Brian Brushwood and Grant, and we need to play like you and I can sit there and have escalating dares of having them to do stuff. Because, Grant has no shame, right? Grant will do whatever.
Grant will do anything.
Yeah.
Brian has very little shame.
Brian also has very little shame. So we need to find the thing that makes one of them tap out.
On this episode of Rage Select, Grant's going to eat Brian's poop.
No, I don't want to be on that.
Just one bite.
I don't want to be on that website anymore.
Brian gives Grant a Cleveland steamer.
No.
Come on.
No, dude. No.
Push the envelope.
No, I don't want to.
All right.
Well, you know what? We've got a lot of news and a lot of emails, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And our first story is one of my favorites, Jason. I don't know if you saw this, but last week Sony unveiled Project Morpheus.
What?
Their VR headset.
I missed this.
It's full 1080p. It's got 90-degree field of vision, allow for full 360-degree head turn. Looks like it's made to be used with the PlayStation 4, like the Move controllers, and it said that and the
fuck Move controllers,
camera and stuff. That's the thing that always gets me whenever we do a VR story, right? Is that they've got like what's the Razer Hydra, right? That's kind of like a Wii controller for the PC.
Yeah,
and they'll use Move controllers. I'm like, I just want the head move, and then a controller. But this is interesting. Apparently, they've got this interesting thing where it said that the headset will be able to simulate over 60 virtual speakers. It'll support custom headphones for those people that want them. So you can basically do like kind of virtual simulated different surround type of stuff through it. And I don't know, man. Like, I think that the biggest thing right now is just going to be price point, right?
Yeah.
What is the price point? Because Sony has that track record up to the PS4 of charging too fucking much.
Yes.
For everything that they make. Like, it's Sony quality, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'll buy the off-brand plasma screen TV.
It looks like, do you want to be in Daft Punk?
Right.
Buy the Morpheus.
Let me see if I can find a better picture of it. I don't know, man. Like, this is here's one of somebody holding two Move controllers. Looks stupid. There we go. That's a better shot of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of curious about how exactly this thing fits on the head. It kind of looks like it sits on top or I don't know if that's supposed to be if like the visor comes down. You know what I want is now after this announcement, I am looking forward to knowing whether or not we get to go to E3 this year, because if we get to go to E3,
because you know that'll be there.
that shit's going to be there.
Yeah.
You get to put it on.
What if it shows up and it just blows the Oculus Rift out of the water?
Well, that's a good question. The question is, if this is as expensive, like let's say that when the Oculus Rift finally comes out, that it's what, 200, 250, something like that. Like the dev kits were 300, right?
Yeah.
So if it's 200 for the production model, right? You've got one of these that works with the PC and anything that the crazy people on the PC can hack together. You got another one of these that's going to be working specifically with Sony stuff that third parties are going to have to, like, if you buy the one that works on the PlayStation 4 and Call of Duty Godzilla or whatever comes out next year.
That sounds like an awesome game.
I would play Call of Duty Godzilla, where you play as Godzilla with the machine gun, obviously.
Yes.
But if those developers decide not to put Project Morpheus support into that game on the PC, they could probably hack that shit into the Oculus Rift like they've done with so many things currently. Whereas on the PlayStation 4, if a developer says they're not going to do it, that is just not done. It's not like you can mod the PS4 software. So it's going to be a question of, when this thing comes out, how expensive is it? How many do they sell? And can they put pressure on developers to actually include support for it in there?
Can you imagine how much that would extend development costs and time?
I don't necessarily think... I think that we've talked about this a few times in the past, but I think that if we can... I think that once these things start hitting, once we start getting Oculus Rift and stuff like that into the hands of consumers and not just people who want to buy dev kits, that we're going to start to figure out what our common language for VR is. Like, is it a line in the middle of the screen that shows your central vision so that it's basically like you have a first-person shooter, but you've got head control along with the body control of the shooter? Are we going to start taking the development? I mean, basically, are you just going to be pasting this technology on top of our current control structure, or are you going to be finding a way to redesign from the ground up to integrate it in a better way? Like, I was actually watching a video this weekend of someone playing Hawken with the Oculus Rift, and that seemed perfect because you're moving your head around inside of the cockpit of the mech, right? So the controls control the mech, and then your head controls your head.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing Team Fortress, you've got like controls that are controlling your body and viewpoint, but then you've also got the Oculus Rift moving your head around, so it can feel a little weird because you've got 2 points of motion for head tracking instead of like in the Hawken thing where it's more of like a simulator. But I don't know. I mean, I think that this is going to be like the Kinect, where we're going to have to see what's it priced at, how available is it. Like, if Sony puts their weight behind it, they've got a pretty good head start right now at the PS4.
Well, Microsoft's putting their weight behind the Kinect, and it's a piece of shit.
Well, there is that. There was something that I was reading about where they said that the attach rate for the camera on the PlayStation 4 is really low, and that part of this technology is the camera tracking your head motion, like a combination of gyros and the camera.
Okay.
So,
gyros.
Like, do you have to have a PlayStation Eye camera in addition to this thing? If so, is that bundle going to be $400 or whatever? Like, that's where I feel it really comes down to his price point. Somebody's got to get this shit out there cheap enough that we can all buy one.
Yeah.
For not, I think that between $200 and $300 is a price point that is legitimate for this tech.
Remember when consoles themselves were $200 or $300?
I remember when consoles were like $150 or less sometimes. Original Game Boy came out and it was $100?
Yeah.
$99?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't know. This seems like it could be interesting, and it's interesting to see Sony throwing their ring into the VR arena. Do you want to pull a what's that guy's name? Michael Pachter? Do like some long-term analysis, gut reaction. Is this going to be any good? Is it going to work?
No.
Okay. I go with probably no as well, because I think this shit's got like 2 years of germination on the PC before it starts coming to consoles.
Absolutely.
I think that if they start with it now, that maybe eventually in the lifespan of the PS4 it could get added in. But I think that this shit has to start on the PC.
Yeah.
Because PC people are crazy enough to buy it and use it and be like, this is awesome. Whereas,
let it find its legs first before you force it out there.
Right. I mean, there's people that, I mean, I don't like the term, but like casual people who buy consoles and they just want to play some fucking video games.
Yeah.
Probably not going to want to have to dick with all this stuff.
It's like, I want to buy it when there's a good game and it works well.
Right. Oh, man. What would be the killer app? Battlefield? Battlefield 5 with Oculus Rift support.
Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2. Riding your horse, turning your head and looking over the sunset. Well, let's move on to the next story before you got to get new pants, Jason. So I don't know if you saw this. This is an interesting side note.
Nope.
Okay. The company 11-Bit Studios that made the multi-platform game Anomaly Warzone Earth, which I don't know. I think I played that a while back. I
have no idea.
Is making this game called This War of Mine. And this actually kind of ties into something that somebody was talking about. It might have been us. It might have been when Grant was on, where we're talking about war in video games. Was that us? No, I think it was Grant and I. I don't know. Anyway, this is a game that's being developed about war, where you play as people as non-combatants trying to survive inside of a war zone while there's a war going on.
Okay.
Where you try to scavenge for supplies and keep as many of your refugees alive as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And then, like, every day you're trying to get out of the way of battles and stuff like that. And somebody sent us a question about how war is portrayed in video games and how it could be done better. I think it sounds like a really interesting concept.
Okay.
I don't have a whole hell of a lot to say about it outside of, like, there's a trailer for it. The trailer is very much just like this scrolling to the right. You know, there's war and explosions going on.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the trailer.
So it's a war game where I don't get to shoot people.
Yes.
Fuck a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, okay.
It's like, hey, you're going to go to Dairy Queen.
You know
you
what?
don't get to eat anything.
This is probably going to fall into the same category as something like Papers, Please.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Papers, Please, if you pitched me Papers, Please sounds like garbage.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you get to work at Eastern European checkpoint. Your family starves. Why the fuck would I want to play that?
Right.
So I don't know. I think this thing, the trailer, you guys can go watch the trailer. It doesn't really have a whole lot in it. But I think that it's an interesting concept, and this thing is now on my radar. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what it is. The only thing that kind of makes me a little nervous is that in this press release it says The War of Mine is due to launch this year for PC and mobile devices. That makes it seem like it's just going to be some kind of like top-down resource thing.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, well, then go fuck yourself. But once again, I don't know. Speaking, though, of Papers, Please, this was kind of a light news week, so I added a few things in here.
Okay.
I think this is something that I guess is something that goes to reinforce a lot of things that we've said over the years. Papers, Please has sold 500,000 copies.
Wow, good for them.
500,000 copies. Think of that at $10 or
Yeah.
$15 a pop. You got some serious bank in there, man. Like, this is a testament to where we are right now in indie development and the fact that, like, this shit ain't nothing to scoff at. And if you make a quality, interesting product, I mean, a lot of times I feel like we get tunnel vision with this idea that it's like, it's all this fucking AAA from big soulless corporations.
Right.
But Papers, Please can
Good
sell
job.
500,000, man. That's just like, dude, do the thing.
Glory to our Stotska.
Yes. Oh, glory to our Stotska. I think we need to go back and do a full playthrough of Papers, Please.
Full.
What do you think? It's only going to be like 8 days, right?
You have like a bowl of antidepressants sitting nearby.
I've got a bowl that I could fill with Lone Star.
Hey.
Just a punch bowl full of beer with a straw.
Some big straws.
Yeah. What about a Twizzler? Drink it through a Twizzler?
Hey, will that work?
It might.
Maybe a big pixie stick straw, one of those big plastic ones.
Do you put the pixie sticks in the Lone Star?
No, that could be gross.
Yeah.
Or I tried to make Kool-Aid out of pixie sticks one time. It didn't work out well.
That never. Everybody tries it. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work out well.
I don't know why it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work?
Because you don't put sugar in it. It's way too sour.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way too sour.
I still don't understand. I think you just need to put more pixie sticks in there. Actually, I think I did that when I was doing that experiment and it didn't do anything. Just ended up wasting like 6 pixie sticks instead of 1. Also, who the fuck came up with pixie sticks? That's crack for children.
They're awesome.
That's cocaine for children.
It really is.
You pour out a line of dust and then lick it. Like,
yeah.
Damn. I bet you could get. Do you think you could get either Brian Brushwood or Grant to do a rail of pixie stick?
I bet I could get both of them to do rails of pixie sticks.
You think so?
Oh,
How
yeah.
many before they stop threw up?
I bet if they're listening to this right now, they would do it.
like off the air. Tape yourselves, guys.
No, they would do it on. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I bet we just say, hey, you want to snort some pixie sticks?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck the cinnamon challenge. We're doing pixie sticks today, motherfucker.
I bet anything that either one of them would do it.
Yeah.
At the drop of a hat.
All right. Well, our next story, because I don't have a segue from Pixie Sticks to Castlevania, is that Koji Igarashi is leaving Konami.
How long has he been developing?
Since, I believe, Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
It says here he began his time with the Dark Action series as assistant director of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And now that Mercury Steam has taken over with Lords of Shadow, he's kind of been slowly edging out. I don't know, man. Like, I'd never met this guy at E3. I mean, he wasn't there when I went there, but like, he's kind of well known for. He's always got a cowboy hat and a whip. Whenever you see him,
Wait, a whip?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like a Belmont thing?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, like, he was at the helm for that, like, Wii Castlevania fighting game. You remember that? Like,
yeah, maybe it's good that he's gone.
So I think he's leaving, and I don't know. I wish him the best. I hope that this motherfucker goes somewhere else and just makes Symphony of the Night 2 with a different name on it, because people have been trying for a long time. And somebody actually sent in a question where they said, do you think that Nintendo should just give Castlevania to Konami and tell them to, you know, just make a game called Metroidvania? Yes, I do.
Yes.
I think that would be badass. I don't really know. I haven't been following much Castlevania over the last few years. There was that one that was like on Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network where it was like a mashup of different Castlevanias.
Oh, really?
Where you play it online with other people, where you could be like Alucard or Trevor or different people. Never played that. I don't know. Castlevania's gotten into a weird place for me, because there was a time where I would say that I was a fan of it.
Yeah.
But between the...
It's been kind of diluted. I mean, it could have been like it could have been something with like a Zelda-like following. I think they kind of eroded that with a lot of weird experimental stuff that didn't pay off.
Which is interesting when you think about the number of people who have been asking for Zelda to go experimental for years and quit making the same game over and over again. You go, Castlevania tried it, not so much. So, I don't know. All right. We got two more very short stories here, and then we're going to take a break and get into a lot of emails. So somebody tipped me off. The next firmware update for the PS4 is going to take HDCP off, which is great, because I'm tired of not being able to capture really good quality PS4
Why was that even
stuff.
on there to begin with?
Because of Sony and Japan, and it was on the PlayStation 3. You couldn't do it on the PlayStation. You still can't do it on the PlayStation 3. Like, the only reason I feel like they're even taking it off on the PS4 is because the Xbox One browbeat them into it by saying, we're not going to have it on our console. I mean, the reason that I capture so much for Rage Select off of the Xbox is because it's easier to just plug in an HDMI cable instead of having to dick around with this component out bullshit. So when this happens, you're probably going to see a shift in Rage Select where a lot of our next-gen stuff is going to be PS4 rather than Xbox One, unless it's exclusive. But just a real quick thing. And finally, we're going to have this conversation. I'm hoping to do it with you on the air, Jason, so that we can say... So,
do it.
The development kit for the Oculus Rift 2nd Gen Crystal Cove is on sale.
Do it.
$350.
Do it.
Full 1080.
But see, here's
motion
the thing.
Tracking.
You know, this would be just for us, because how would we show this to everyone?
We would capture the footage, put it back together again. It kind of look like you're looking through a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
And then take video of you with the dumb thing on your head, moving your head around, going, I don't know, you guys. And me going, keep your face in front of the microphone. So here's the thing. I am willing right now to split the cost of this Oculus Rift VR dev kit with Rage Select 50-50. 50 of my money and 50% Rage Select money.
Yeah, do it.
What do you think?
Do it.
Yes. All right. It doesn't ship until July. This is the pre-order for it right now.
Oh, really?
But they started talking about like the supplies for making them have started to become a little bit more limited. So it's like, I want to pre-order this shit because I missed it out the last time. So it's $50 more, but it comes with the camera because it's the one that has the tracking on it and everything.
You're going to need to set up some sort of cot in here for me.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm not leaving Skyrim.
Oh, really?
I'm just not leaving.
I actually looked over the weekend at the list of games that support Oculus Rift. And I was just like, I want to play that one, and I want to play that one, and I want to play that one. So yeah, I think that we should get one of these things because I talk so much about it. And then I think that, and then what we need to have a convention so that I can wait, but I don't want other people to put their eyes on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we had the con, and now I have pink eye.
You heard about that, right? At that one event?
Wait, what?
Where somebody did get pink eye out of one of the Oculuses because somebody had conjunctivitis. They shoved their shit in there,
You
right?
fuckers.
All right, so we're going to, you know what? I think we take a very teeny tiny little slice off the end of that Loco Steve t-shirt money. Oculus Rift V2. Ba boom. And when we get that, you guys, we will totally use it and show you what it is, which is mostly just going to be what pictures of us just going, this is fucking awesome. This is awesome, right? And all the people online who already are like, dude, shut up about the Oculus Rift, are just going to be like, I quit. I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm done with Rage Select.
Yeah.
And that's it. And we got a lot of emails this week, and a lot of them are really good. So we're going to cut the news short. That's a little bit less than we normally do.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was pretty much a full news thing.
We usually do about 15 more minutes worth. But whatever.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to answer a whole bunch of y'all's questions. And yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily. And we are back. And before we get started on the emails, Jason, I want to address something to our listeners real fast.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people that have been writing in asking us if we could do a podcast with more than just two people.
No.
And I got to tell you, scheduling is a bitch, man.
Yeah.
It is a nightmare. Like, you know, you and Grant both have full-time day jobs, and it's really hard to synchronize.
Yep. As does Allison, as does Kayla, as does Kristen.
Yep. I'm the only one sitting here. I'll do it. That's why every podcast has me on it.
Clone yourself.
Nobody wants a podcast with two Jeffs on it.
That's true.
Couldn't I just take some drugs and get a real dissociative thing and then just be like, what do you think, Jeff? I don't know, Jeff.
Who am I talking to now?
That would probably be a bad sign when I start talking to myself. I would that may be a little bit overboard.
You'd have to video that, too.
Dude, I could do it like Lord of the Rings, right? Like Gollum. You have evil Jeff.
Is this Smeagol or Jeff?
That's right. Could have like, oh no, Jason's is our friend. Fuck the Jasons.
Murder.
All right, folks. Well, we've got a bunch of emails here, and so we're going to start with the first one. This is one that's been sent before. This is from Danny. Danny says, kill, fuck, or marry Loretta, Loco, Steve, Gary Marzipan. Been a fan since the old days and just recently became a patron. Keep up the great work and praise Dongacles.
Hey.
So what do you think?
Thank
Jason?
you, Danny. I'm going to kill Loretta because she is just full of disease. I don't know if it's possible to kill her, but
okay.
It's I'm going to fuck Gary Marzipan because he's got moves.
Right.
Yeah. He's got moves, and he has. Hopefully, he won't fuck me to death.
Right.
You know, he once tried to fuck out the sun.
Sure.
Didn't work out.
That happened.
Fucked a bear to death one time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can withstand that. Marry one, Loco Steve. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's a deranged billionaire.
Okay.
He's
All
got
right.
money. You?
I think I'm going to go with marry with Loco Steve, definitely, because of the money. You know,
lots and lots of money.
And he's out there doing crime fighting all the time, so you just waste all his fucking billions, right? You know, while he's out
you're
there.
right.
You don't even have to stick around for that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to reverse the other two, though.
I'm not a proud black woman, but hopefully Loco Steve will accept me for what I am.
That's right. Do you take this honky to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Ding dong, yes.
So I think that I would kill Gary Marzipan, which I know.
What?
I know. But the thing is that everybody knows that, if the Chronicles of Riddick taught me anything, it's that you keep what you kill. And if I am going to ever have Greedo as my horse, I'm going to have to eliminate his current owner. It's like the wand in Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
I got to kill Gary Marzipan. It's going to be rough, man. It's going to be a battle of the ages.
It's not going to happen.
Probably not. But if
he's going to run tiny circles around your ass.
If somehow I manage to do it, then I will have Greedo as my horse. And then you know what? Modern science has come a long way to curing STDs. So Loretta, you just close your eyes
Not
and
the
you
shit
know,
Loretta's got. She's got some Martian STDs.
super syphilis.
You're gonna die.
The super sif.
Yeah.
Well, I can use Loco Steve's billions to come up with new medical technologies.
Okay.
To allow me to survive whatever it was that was in
Good luck
Loretta's
with that
stuff.
Good luck.
You know, I just don't know about the effects of horsey sauce on on your genitals directly. I don't know if that's.
It's gonna be sexy.
Yikes. So there you go. I think that this guy has said this question a couple times, and I thought, you know, hey, it's time to bring this one out. All right, our next one comes in from Horace Sky, and he says, "Hey guys, 2-part question. 1, how do you feel about the increased use of live-action game commercials, especially from Sony? I'm not much of a fan, although some commercials have been okay, but most seem sort of counterproductive. Why would the marketing team spend tons of money on CG and live-action props / actors / etc. versus a sizzle reel showcasing the actual graphics and gameplay? I would think the end user would appreciate that more versus assholes singing to each other. 2, how can Sony improve their marketing efforts? I've seen at least 2 or 3 Titanfall commercials a night for the past 2 weeks, yet I have only seen the infamous live-action commercial once online. Thanks for taking my questions, Horace Sky."
Well, as far as the first one goes, I totally feel you, Horace. I was thinking about this earlier today, where it's a couple of jackasses singing, "It's the perfect day," just fucking up that Velvet Underground song.
Oh.
I'm like, why would you use this? Because it's Velvet Underground and Velvet Underground's cool? It didn't make any damn sense to me. So I think they're just doing it to seem bigger and to seem cool, using this live action stuff. So I don't know. Live action tends to get people's attention. Maybe a lot of it started with the Halo commercials that were shot as a proof of concept from the Neil Blomkamp team. But
it's funny going off on a tangent there about using songs in commercials. I didn't realize this until I was looking up information for our Dark Souls 2 review. There was a Dark Souls 2 trailer that used "Locomotive Man" by Jethro Tull in it, and I was just like, "What does this have to do with anything?" Anyway, yeah, you live action. I don't know, man. Do you even trust commercials? Like,
no.
When I see a commercial,
I don't
I'm
see
like,
commercials.
Me neither. I mean, Netflix or Netflix.
Whenever it comes on Hulu Plus, I just kind of zone out, and usually it's just I'm blind to it. I don't even remember what I saw.
Right,
30 seconds later.
Yeah,
but yeah, as far as video game commercials, I mean, you've got the Call of Duty one from a year or so ago with like Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Oh, that had all the YouTube Let's Players and personalities on it. I think iJustine was on that one, right?
Like that doesn't.
That was weird.
That doesn't do anything for me,
right?
I mean, maybe for the casual person who has a passing interest in video games or something like that. I don't know. I
just have a real axe to grind with modern advertising.
Yeah.
Because like when some people would say to me, "Oh man, did you see that Call of Duty commercial? That was cool." And I'd be like, who gives a fuck? It didn't tell me anything about the game, and it wasn't like, what are you going to do? You're going to watch a commercial over and over again?
Yeah.
Like, ew, gross, disgusting. Like, they're engineered to make you want shit.
Yeah.
It's brain poison, motherfucker.
Well, how can Sony improve their marketing efforts?
Oh, actually, you know what? The second question that he has here, the answer is they already have by like 1 million, because you remember the evil melting baby head from the PlayStation 3 ads, the white woman holding the woman dressed in black on the PSP ads. You remember that one? Like, Sony had a whole string of shitty, stupid shit that they were doing.
They should just hire the Geico team and just start spamming everything.
Oh God, no! See, because those Geico commercials, those go. I don't care if I could save money on my car insurance. I will never go to those assholes. Like, fuck that. That's like, I don't care about the caveman or the painting stocking and what. It's fuck you. Gross, just gross, man. I don't know. How about you? Do you feel sufficiently marketed to?
I really don't.
I don't know if we're the demographic to answer this question.
I know. I don't really see any commercials.
Like I mean, even when you see like banner ads or something online,
I'm blind to them.
at this point in my life, it doesn't make me want anything.
Yeah.
Like if I want a product, I'll generally go and like look it up and see what like people reviews or stuff like that. Like
I can't even remember the last time a commercial actually successfully sold me something.
Yeah. It's not like when they sell. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you the only thing, and I recognize it in myself, and I hate myself for it, Jason, is it used to be that I would go to the workout room all the time, back when I lived in my apartment complex, and they'd have the TVs on in there, so I'd be jamming with my headphones, and then Taco Bell commercials. I don't know what it is about Taco Bell commercials, but every time I see a Taco Bell commercial, at the end of it, my brain's like, hey, we should go get some Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up, brain, you're being manipulated. And I don't know, it's that one commercial is the only thing that makes me want to go. They'll show Wendy's commercial. I'm just like, fuck you, Wendy's, or whatever. But
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, I don't know what
Why
it is.
are they not sponsoring us yet?
I don't have
We bring it up every day.
And this has become the Taco Bell Memorial Podcast.
Yes.
Well, you know, eventually, how long is it until the fast food wars? Those were like
It's got to be right around the corner.
4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was like 2012 or something like that.
I think so.
Then everything will be Taco Bell. It'll be easy. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think that, like, whenever I hear about either a game or a TV show or a movie or whatever having, like, sometimes you hear, you know, like this thing had a $200 million budget and like $125 million was making it, and $75 million was the advertising campaign, and I'm just
That's absurd.
like, fuck it, man. I already know, but I guess there's people out there who rely on commercials to tell them what to get.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But go watch. There's a documentary called what's it called? God damn it. I'll look it up at some point while we're doing this. It's all about the way that modern advertising came about through Sigmund Freud's cousin or something like that.
Okay.
The development of modern psychological advertising.
Sure.
And once you pierce that veil, the whole thing just seems like scumtastic.
It just unravels.
Like you're just you're shoving boobs in my face, and then you say camera, and then boobs, camera, boobs, camera. So your brain's like, I like boobs, I should go get that camera. And once you've realized that, it's destroyed, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, well, you're just
Everyone should see it.
fuck you guys.
Put on the glasses.
All right, our next one comes in from our fan Jujitsu, and he says, hello, Ragecasters. If you were given the choice of one barbecue plate that you had to eat the rest of your life, what would it be? The plate consists of one protein and 3 sides, or fixins, as you call them. You guys doing great. Remember, Jeff, only you could prevent DSA, Dark Souls addiction. I'm trying to enable Dark Souls addiction.
Oh.
I'm not trying to prevent Dark Souls.
I thought you were going to say you were trying to enable dick-sucking addiction.
No.
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 Okay, one protein. Jalapeno sausage. 3 sides or fixins.
Sausage?
Yeah, jalapeno sausage, man. Yeah, that's the jam.
Okay.
Or fixins, as you call them. I've never called anything fixins.
You never had
by the
fixins
way.
before?
I don't.
Well,
I don't,
that means a different thing to me.
Okay.
It means like the
like condiments, right?
Yeah, like when you get the pickles and onions and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You know,
3 sides.
Yeah.
Beans.
what kind of beans?
Pinto.
Pinto?
Yep.
Okay.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Yep. And mashed potatoes.
You're a weirdo. You have like sauce. Okay, whatever. Are you Dutch? Is that what's
What? No.
It's traditional Dutch farm food is sausage with mashed potatoes and like greens.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What are yours?
Mix the mash. Pork ribs, obviously.
Ribs are too messy.
One for the rest of your life. You're not going to want like crazy sausage. You're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
want okay. I mean,
Ribs
either,
are too messy. I don't do that.
Either brisket or pork ribs. Probably pork ribs because I love me the swine. As for fixins, probably coleslaw, fried okra, and potato salad.
I'm weird.
Yeah.
You're just downright criminal with your selection.
That's a traditional barbecue plate right there.
Some bullshit. That's
What?
that is.
Okay.
All of your fixins. Fuck them all. Flush them right down the toilet. Okra, coleslaw, and potato salad. Ugh.
What's wrong with
No.
any of those?
And ribs are too messy.
I don't.
Mine was
okay,
correct.
I can say that okra is not for everybody. I dig it. I dig it.
That's
but
weird.
Other,
It's
fried
weird.
okra.
No.
But potato salad? Are you really telling me no potato
I don't
salad?
dig potato salad. No.
Why?
No.
What's wrong with potato salad?
Mayonnaise is what's wrong with potato
What
salad.
about mustard potato salad?
It's still all like creamy, goopy.
What about vinegar potato salad? It's got
Also, okay, vinegar potato salad, like in the German style.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. What about coleslaw? Same thing?
Coleslaw. Fuck coleslaw, man.
Vinegar
It's like
coleslaw?
what? If I want salad, why am I eating in a barbecue place?
Well, because the salad has a bunch of mayo in it.
Yeah, I don't like mayo.
Would it be okay? Here's a question. I don't think this has ever come up on the show before. This is very specific.
Okay.
Have you ever had that? You don't see it anymore. It hardly comes up anymore.
Okay.
But when we were kids, it happened
Yeah.
all the time. It's like shredded carrots and raisins and mayo.
Ugh.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
That ain't
like,
right.
Carrot raisin salad or whatever.
I don't know
You have no
what
idea
you're
what I'm talking about?
No.
That shit used to come
That
all the
sounds
time
like
when
a
I was a kid.
dare.
No, dude.
Fuck a bunch of that. That's horrible.
Do you not like mayonnaise?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Okay.
like mayonnaise.
Mustard?
Mustard, I like mustard.
Ketchup?
Ketchup, yes.
Okay. Tartar sauce?
No. No tartar sauce.
Horsey sauce?
No horsey sauce. There's too many connotations with that.
All right. Your brain's been broken by being on this
Yeah.
show. You're like,
Yeah.
I can't put that in my
I
mouth.
don't want anything that's been near Loretta's vagina.
Did you get, do you have just like some kind of, oh, never mind. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. All right.
Did you ever get sexually abused with horsey
yeah,
sauce?
well,
That's what
you
he was
know.
going to say.
Well, all of the things that you say you don't like have, they bear a resemblance to another thing, but that's just too easy to check. All right. Our next question comes in from Black Cat Otaku. And she says, "Hi there, Ragers. I decided to write in after listening to many podcasts from the Spill days to when Rage Select started up. I'm not an avid gamer, but when I do find games that strike a chord with me, they're dangerously addicting. I wrote in hoping to get suggestions for multiplayer games for the PS3. I love fighting games, platformers like Kirby, racing, and horror games. My most recent addiction has been The Last of Us, and while it has been an amazing game, it has brought a rift between myself and my boyfriend. He loves games, but since this game is not a multiplayer, we tried switching off every time one of us gets killed. Oh, like Grant and I do. Okay. Even though he is the more active video game player, I have put in more time with The Last of Us than he has, making me slightly better at this particular game.
Yeah.
Won't you help me repair my relationship and give me some advice on what games might bring us together rather than take us apart? Sincerely, Black Cat Otaku." So they're switching off controllers when they die.
Yeah.
And she's better. And so he's getting the crack scratch like I get when you're watching somebody play and you want to play real bad.
Yeah. What are some good suggestions?
Multiplayer game.
One of mine that I always fall back to is Diablo 3.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's a good co-op game with some horror elements.
Guacamelee has some good, interesting co-op.
Yeah.
I like that one quite a bit.
If you like fighting games, I'm a fan of the Soul Calibur series.
And do you feel it's going to drive the rift further between them?
It might. It might. But hey, she said fighting games. So,
Okay.
Hey. And what are some other good ones? A lot of the downloadable games, like Dungeon Defenders. Is that on PS3?
I don't know.
I don't know that it is.
Little Big Planet?
Little Big Planet. Yeah.
I don't know.
Portal 2.
That Portal
Do
2 has the
co-op on there,
mode.
but that also might drive you apart.
Here, put a portal here. God damn it, woman.
Right here.
Castle Crashers.
Castle
is
Crashers,
one that's on
yeah.
there. I'd say if you like
Metal Block Theater.
if you guys are playing The Last of Us, Uncharted, you might give Uncharted a shot.
Not multiplayer though.
Not multiplayer, but
Yeah.
you might give it a shot. I mean, for
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 games.
I'm gonna go with Diablo 3.
Diablo 3.
That's gonna be my yes. Get this one.
Okay.
That is great for couples, as I've learned firsthand.
Can you play Borderlands 2 split screen?
I don't think so.
Can you play it split screen?
Oh, well, PS3. I don't think there was ever a version of Left 4 Dead never came out on the PS3, did it?
Wasn't that included in the... Was that in the orange box?
No.
No, that was Portal and Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think
a
it did.
difficult one. Let's see. Stuff that you can play at the same time. I'm looking over like the best of list here. You guys could play Dark Souls and then swap out every time you die in Dark Souls.
Yeah,
You
that'll
just,
be a relationship crushing adventure.
Hot potato. Can you play split screen in Dead Space 3?
I don't think so.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm
might
not sure,
check
but I
that
don't
out.
think so. Black Cat Otaku, really the real takeaway here is just slap the shit out of him and say, hey, be a man. Just be a man.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Or, hey, Walking Dead. Walking Dead is great for people who are sitting there and you can make the decisions together.
Yeah, but what happens when the two of them can't agree on the course of action? That timer's going down. So
well,
whoever's got the controller
that's
has
where the
to
game element comes in.
make a decision.
Yeah. But yeah, check out Walking Dead. You might like that. It's a great story. It's gruesome, and you can play it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with those. That's a good list. I'm still looking through things here. No. Okay, fine.
Yeah, well, co-op is kind of going away.
It's tricky. Well, there's a lot more download stuff.
Yeah,
that has
there's a lot of co-op download stuff, but some of the major releases, not so much.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Trying 2.
Trying 2.
Yeah.
Alison
and I played that, and it was fun. You and I played. That was like one of the third or fourth games that we ever played, right?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a good time, especially when you dump your partner into a pit and kill them. So, all right. And our next question, we've got one from, how do you say that, Jason? Haikal. And Haikal says, hey, Jeff and Jason, I am a huge fan of your work, and I have been a patron for some time now. Recently, however, I find myself having less time. Okay, this is not necessarily a question that we're going to answer, but it's something to maybe talk about on the air a little bit. Recently, however, I find myself having less time to just sit down and watch episodes of the dojo due to work commitments. I end up missing several podcasts, and I can never find the time to catch up. On the other hand, I never miss listening to your weekly podcasts since they are in audio format, and I can listen to them while I'm working or on the go. Which brings me to my question. Would you consider putting up audio versions of the dojo on iTunes or SoundCloud? I think the fact that the dojo episodes are often done podcast style with the two of you discussing random topics would be just as effective being in audio format as it is in video format. Thanks for taking the time to read my email and keep up the amazing work. Regards, Hakal. So we've actually gotten this a few times asking us, and I wanted to talk with you about it, and then I wanted to say a few things to listeners. What do you think about? What do you think about this as a concept?
Yeah, why not? I mean, sometimes you're going to get stuff that's not going to make a lot of sense. Like try listening to an audio podcast of Nidhogg.
Right, exactly.
It's not going to make any sense.
You make it a ringtone. Fuck.
Yeah, but sometimes you're going to have something. You're going to have a podcast that is. Or a dojo that really just sounds like a podcast. You're not going to get as much out of it, so it shouldn't be something we should lead with, but I think there might be something there.
Okay, so let me pitch this to you, and then I can pitch it to them at the same time.
Okay.
The thing about this is that the way that we have this set up, the way that we have our audio system set up, we have a certain amount of space that's allocated each month for podcasts. And if we go over that space, it costs us more money. It also costs me more time to frame it together and upload it. It's more admin time to do that. So here's the thing is I don't have a problem with the idea of doing this at all, but I would probably need to have people be willing to kick in some money for it. So that's the question that I have is that if we were to put out like completely optional audio versions of this where you can download the MP3, but it was like 50 cents per for you to download it or whatever.
Yeah.
Would you guys and gals be interested in that? Because I don't mind doing the extra work, but the thing is
it is more work.
It is more work. And right now we've streamlined this system.
Taxed.
And yeah, I'm really just all the time. So the question to you guys, and I want y'all, I mean, even if you don't answer in the comments, like maybe somebody will talk about this in the comments, and that you can use our thumbs up system or our thumbs down system to kind of vote yay or nay if you'd have an interest in this. Is like, would you be willing to pay, call it 50 cents a pop, for an option to download
pure audio?
The other thing is that if we put those things up there, if we go through the trouble of rendering them out and uploading them and paying the extra for the storage space for them and adding the extra
that can get
link into
expensive
everything
really quickly.
It can get expensive, but the thing is that if we do that, and this is guys, pull the veil back a little bit on just some of this stuff for Rage Selected Podcast. If we do that and like 30 people every month download that one episode, or we get say 50 downloads total in a month.
Yeah.
That's not really worth the extra time to do it.
Right.
Because it's time that we could be spending doing full-on other videos or full-on, research into other stuff or editing other stuff or making the intros that we did for, say, South Park or the Titanfall where we had special effects and stuff. Like all that has to get done in the meantime. So it's a question to you guys of like, we're pretty financially stable, but something like this may be the sort of thing that if y'all want it, and there's enough of you that want it, we're talking like, lots of you guys who are willing to pay for this privilege, I can do it. It's just not the sort of thing that's real simple to just snap your fingers and do.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd bring it up to give you guys a chance to chime in the comments about whether this is something that you'd be really interested in. All right.
And set aside a week or so and catch up, dude, because come on. You're missing out on a lot of gold there, buddy.
I'll tell you what, sometimes I'll put on stuff on my phone while I'm walking my dog or like listen to it.
Yeah.
I'll just hit the play button on YouTube and then put my phone in my pocket, and that way I can hear it. It's kind of the same thing. All right, our next question comes in from Chris from Michigan, and Chris says, "Hey, Rage Select Crew, I play a variety of video games, but I find the most enjoyment from the multiplayer experience. My question is, why do players care so much about stats? Kill/death, win/loss, score per minute, etc. Let me explain. People will go to great lengths to protect their stats. They will use cheap tactics like spawn kill, hack dashboard, use overpowered setups, use the same loadout every game, and so on, just to keep an arbitrary number that they will forget when a new game comes out. Also, a player can say, look at my K/D, brah, which translates to, look how big my dick is. I know that I have been swayed by some confirmation bias, and these players are probably in the minority. Thanks for great content, Chris from Michigan." I think it's time to do this yet again, Jason. You ready?
Okay.
Fuck those people.
Yeah, fuck them.
No, seriously, fuck those people.
You know what I do when I was playing Titanfall?
What's that?
Muted everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Just muted every one of them.
Every fucking time. Last time I played Call of Duty, and it was a wretched experience. Like, get away from me. I don't know why I'm even on this team. Fucking noobs. Fucking. I mean, if I understand the shit's competitive and you want to win, but if you're trying to make other people feel shitty,
yeah.
and I'm going to say this, if you're trying to make people feel shitty for not being as good as you are at literally anything in the world, you are a douche. You are a straight up douche. And it's one of the things that I see happen on sometimes in the comments on Rage Select, sometimes in comments from people on YouTube, sometimes for certain shows that we have. The moment that you decide that that person isn't good enough and they should get the fuck out of your hobby, congratulations. You're a total dickhead.
Yes.
And you don't deserve to be included in this shit anymore.
Now, if you're griefing people like that, yes. Now, just obsessing over your KD ratio or your win-losses or whatever, that's fine. I get that. It's like, okay, I want to unlock all the achievements or something like that. That's fine.
Okay.
But being a dick about it, yeah, you're worthless.
Well, I mean, and that becomes, that goes back to an age-old question that we've talked about a bunch of times. I'm taking this a little bit further direction.
Sure.
But like when you played Counter-Strike, right? You get one guy with an AWP who sits at the spawn of his map, waiting for the other team to come in, and then we'll just mow down the last. He sits there waiting for the last two people to come out and shoot them. I wish that there was a way to. I wish there was a way to segregate the people who want to play like that from those of us that are just like, fuck it, man, I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't care about dragging my team's stats down or if we lost this match or whatever. I just want to have a good time. And I don't know. It gets on my nerves. It's one of the reasons I stopped playing multiplayer games, honestly. Because you just get especially back in those days of Counter-Strike, that was where I stopped, was in Counter-Strike. Because eventually got to a point where it was just like, you were not fit to talk to other people because they would just ridicule you about how shitty you are at this game. You're not making anybody feel, that attitude doesn't encourage me to do better at a game. It just encourages me to quit.
Right.
And if you encourage enough people to do that, guess what? Your hobby doesn't even fucking exist anymore. And
Great. It's you playing Counter-Strike by yourself.
Right. Because nobody else is good enough at all. I don't know. That shit gets on my nerves because I see it too when you look at I feel like that's the same attitude that you get about the whole fake geek girl thing.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot at the con stuff. You're seeing a lot of that
it's
stuff.
Very elitist.
And it's just like, why are you trying to exclude people? Why are you trying to keep people out of this hobby instead of embracing them into the hobby? It's going to change regardless of what you think or how much you try to stop it. So, I don't know. You've just been staring at me this entire time like I'm a crazy person.
No, you're absolutely right. That says it all. So like, yeah, fuck those people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna quietly obsess about it, great, fine, do that. But if you want to start swinging your balls around and playing like an ass and everything, then whatever, go to hell.
Yeah.
I just want to jump on and have fun.
Yep. I agree. All right. Next question comes in from Son, and Son says, "Dear Jeff and Jason, please answer this question, which has been around for centuries: boobs or ass?" And I feel like
both of them have their merits, my friend.
Now he has this question is one sentence. Please answer this question, which has been around for centuries, comma, boobs or ass. And I feel like it's very important that comma, because otherwise this question is, which one of these body parts has been around for centuries, boobs or ass?
Justification for the comma. I'm going to abstain.
What?
Yeah.
You're not going to talk about it?
Nope. I'm going to abstain.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Because it's going to get thrown in my face for the next 5 years, whatever I answer. So I'm not going to say.
Damn, Jason Murphy pleading the fifth.
I'm going to say personality.
Never thought I'd see the day. I guess, okay, so you can help me clarify a little bit here.
You're going to say cloaca.
Cloaca? No. I think for me it's probably ass.
Okay.
But it's not like, I guess when this question is asked, you think about it, and I'm like, does this mean, if you say boobs, does this mean you're looking for one with huge boobs, or if you say ass, you're looking for somebody with huge ass? I like a nice ass.
Okay.
Not
No. It's not size. It's the quality.
Exactly. Which
you can have huge boobs that are just disgusting socks filled with ground beef.
What a very, very vivid metaphor.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
And just because they're huge, G cup or whatever, that's not good.
Also going to say that if you have a nice ass, most of the time that begets a nice pair of legs that lead up to that ass.
That's true.
So with that one quadrant, you're really taking care of a whole half of the situation.
50% of the equation there.
So yep, ass. That's my answer.
Ass.
All right. Our next one comes in from Martin, and Martin says, "Dear Jeff McJefferson," that's not my last name, "and friends of the beard." That sounds like a morning show for children, right?
Friends of the beard? Sounds like Friends of Dorothy.
Friends of P? I know a critic who gave Evil Dead 2 a score of 1 out of 6, but he also gave Freddy Got Fingered 5 out of 6. I assume he's talking about the movies here.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a Freddy Got Fingered game. It's okay to have an individual opinion, but should some critics be fired for having bad taste, whether it be movies or games? Keep rocking the beard, Martin.
That's
a weird question. It's a rough question.
Okay, let's drill down to the specifics here. Okay. Evil Dead 2 gets 1 out of 6. Freddy Got Fingered gets 5 out of 6. Yeah, that person's a fucking moron.
Okay.
Clearly.
Should they be fired from their job?
I think your ability, this is tough.
It is,
because I think critics should be allowed to have their opinions.
Okay,
but critics are held to a higher standard for their opinions. So if they're completely out of step with the public, that says something. And maybe the powers that be that their corporate overlords maybe should say, hey, what is wrong with you? And do we need to have someone who is more in step with the public at large?
Okay.
Because if you have someone who's just giving these contrary, weird opinions that are going against the grain, then at a point that just becomes theater. It's like, I wonder what he's going to say now. But it's not a real reflection of criticism. And I don't really necessarily think that criticism needs to be a complete reflection of the masses, but I think you have to take that into consideration, and I think you have to have an opinion that is reasonable, and you have to be able to back it up. If he were able to back up those that with very valid points, great. I really fucking doubt it.
Yeah,
but if he or she were able to do that, then okay, But if you keep doing this repeatedly, then you become an Armand White, who is kind of this pariah in the film critic circles. It very much seems like he's trolling people, and if you start doing stuff like this, then that's going to raise some eyebrows.
Dude, but okay, I was going to say this right now. I never liked Tom Green, right?
Sure.
That's like I would watch his
Yeah.
chick and just go, this seems stupid and I don't understand.
Right.
But I knew people, like, reasonably intelligent human beings who were like, that guy is fucking funny as shit. So if you say, that's the other thing is that sometimes, if you went and saw Freddy Got Fingered like in the height of Tom Green madness and you were all into the show or whatever, and you were like, this is great. I thought it was really funny. I laughed the whole time. And then you give it a high score. This is the problem with when we're doing our review where you talk about once you start comparing, it's one of those things that I have a struggle with is that like you get in that thing where I used to see it all the time on websites where people are like, you gave this a 7 out of 10, but you gave that one a 7.5 out of 10.
Right,
You're saying this is better than this.
It's tricky. Well, it's like me calling you out by saying, so you're saying South Park Stick of Truth is better than Dark Souls 2.
Right.
It's...
But I feel like you can't... I feel like you get to a point where you can't compare.
Well, they're different things.
Because eventually, well, I figure what's going to happen is that if you're going to use that, if you're going to say that every review that you've ever made has to be logical in the context of every other review that you've ever done, then what happens is that you're going to end up at a point where you're just going to be crushed under the weight of having to go like, okay, well, here are all the movies that I gave a 5, and here are all the movies that I gave a 6, and I can't...
and your scale has to mean something, but... a movie is not a movie. It's not a movie. A game is not a game. It's not a game.
Sure.
It's got to be kind of an elastic scale.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're comparing Papers, Please to BioShock Infinite, they'd say,
right.
What are you doing there?
Both of them are great.
Right, but they're
very, very different.
Completely different. So if you say give Papers, Please a 4, BioShock a 5, it's not necessarily saying that Papers, Please is a shittier game than BioShock. It's just saying that in the context of that particular game, I would say it was this much. So...
Right.
I don't know, like when you were talking about this out of context, like I don't know, we're both reasonably intelligent people. How would you give Evil Dead 2 a 1?
I think I get it.
You think you could?
I get it. Yeah.
If you're just like, this is goofy and stupid. I came for a horror movie,
exactly,
and now it's just trying these yucks, and it's all
which is what I thought when I watched it as a kid,
right?
Because I was expecting more of Evil Dead 1, which had its goofy moments, but a lot of those seemed unintentional. But it was mostly, balls to the wall horror,
right,
and gore and everything. And then you see Evil Dead 2, and it's like, well, what if the Three Stooges remade Evil Dead 1?
Right.
So I can get that.
Yeah.
You
also come to a thing where you say, like, over time, if it's something that you liked,
it's not just the score. It depends on how they justify it.
Right. I don't know. See, I personally think that, especially in the era that we're in, where literally anybody can be a critic of anything,
right?
As long as people are willing to listen to them and accept them, that it's more about whether this guy works or not. If he or she has an audience of people that agree with him and value his opinion, and think that what he's saying is accurate, then no, he shouldn't be fired just because he's going against the grain of the world.
Then there's the completely mercenary aspect of it. Are people reading the reviews?
Right.
Great. Keep them.
Yeah.
What's your traffic like?
Yeah.
Whether it's printed or internet or on the radio or whatever.
Oh hell, there's a whole thing that there's a whole conversation happening in the video game industry in the subtext of like when the company sends you the collector's edition of the game and invites you to the party for the launch party or whatever.
Well,
are they affecting your score?
That's
are they
the same
thing.
It's been going on with books and movies and music.
Right.
They'll fly film critics and bloggers out to a set visit or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're obviously hoping to woo them.
Yeah. So you've got to wonder at that point, like, if all of your critics are saying that something is really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we're too small to be bought.
Yeah.
So,
nobody
as we've said before.
We're willing to work for Taco Bell money.
Yeah.
Actually, if we got a sponsorship from Taco Bell and they decided to pay us in like a card that just got you however much Taco Bell for free.
Hell, man.
And then we'd have to figure out a visitation, right, where you get it.
Yeah.
Actually, I give it to you like 6 days out of the week, and I'll take it the other one or
and then
2.
I would die at the end of about 5 weeks.
I think we'd have to keep it in like a lockdown, like a war game safe.
It's like how Batman keeps the kryptonite ring under lock only whenever he needs it.
This idea of you and I in my living room at 7:00 on a Tuesday. Turn your key, sir.
Turn the key, sir. I need a chalupa.
Oh man. Hey, I got a real quick tangent here. I got to ask your advice and the people's advice about something. Last weekend, I was getting ready to trim my beard.
Yeah.
I dropped my beard trimmer in the toilet. I took it out of the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm letting it dry off.
Yeah.
What's the protocol? Can I use it again?
Yes. Detach the blade.
Uh-huh.
Unscrew the blade.
Okay.
And soak it in alcohol.
Okay.
And then you're good.
And the guard?
And the guard. Yeah,
Okay.
of course the guard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, clean all that and the rest of it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think Grant and Peter last week were like, "No, you got to throw it away and buy a new one."
No. Come on.
But I don't have the money right now for a new one. So I thought about just shaving, but the last time I did that, I shaved like 2 days before we had to be on camera live.
And you looked all weird.
And people said that they weren't going to pledge to our Patreon because I didn't have a beard.
People say that about Brushwood after he doesn't have the spiky hair anymore. And everyone's like, I'm not going to watch this anymore because you don't have the spiky hair. Like, really?
It's like, well, dude, that shit took me like 3 or 4 days to get over because I was just like, are you honestly saying like we're not going to support you? We're going to let this site die because you don't have a beard?
I know.
Like, I just shaved, man. All right, we got a couple more here, and then we'll be done. This next one comes in from Jacques, and Jacques says, Dear Jeff and Jason, being a sophomore in high school, I have given a lot of thought to professions and majors to study in college. I've recently told my family and friends that I want to double major in journalism and film production and direction. Many of my friends say that film production is useless and won't get me a job unless I'm really lucky. They say that I should just study business or something boring and normal like that. So my question to you guys is, what do I say to all my naysayers? Thanks, and keep up the great work.
Oh, this is the one you must have mentioned to me.
I did.
Yeah, this is tough, Jacques. This is tough, okay? Because I realize the necessity of college, but I also realize the futility of it in a lot of the majors. If you're going to go there and you're really going to learn, great. But if you're going to go there just to get something printed on a diploma for you, you're wasting your fucking time.
What did you go to college for?
Psychology.
Yeah.
Waste of fucking time.
I didn't even graduate with my animation degree.
Yeah. I got my degree in psychology, and I got into a program, and I was going to get my PhD, and then I realized that I couldn't pay for it. And so I said, I'm going to go join the workforce for a while, and then I'll come back, and that's just, forever ago.
Right. I mean, it seems like an interesting time. Like, it seems like we now live in a time where the film production market, right, is both more saturated than it's ever been with talent, but also open to indie films and self-production and things like that. So it seems like a more of a gamble, right, than it maybe used to be. Right,
and you're going to build up a hell of a lot of debt too. Yeah. But here's the thing: if you want to go into film production and direction, it depends on where you're going to go.
Right.
If you got somewhere out in L.A. or what have you, or like NYU or something like that, if you go to film school there, you're going to meet a lot of people and you're going to meet valuable connections.
Okay.
That makes it worth it.
Okay.
That makes it worth it. However, if you are just going to go out there just to learn film production, I don't think it's necessary. I think you can teach yourself that because we are in the information age and knowledge is free, man. It is all out there. There's a book for everything. Chances are there's a free online course or a cheap online course for everything. So yeah, if you want to follow your passions, I don't think you need college to do that.
Okay.
I really don't. But if you want to do something that's going to help you make money, then go to college and study business.
Yeah.
So the naysayers who are telling you that, they're kind of right.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of undergraduate degrees out there that are fucking worthless, man. Yeah. Film production, you can learn a lot from that, but you can also learn all of that by watching DVD commentaries, getting out there and doing it yourself, and reading books.
Okay.
And getting on set and getting your hands dirty. But if you're going to go to one of the big schools, out in the West Coast or on the East Coast, then you can make valuable connections that can help you get things done.
Yeah.
And that is very important. It's not just what you know. In any trade, it is also who you know. But if you want to get something and have a stable living and you want to go to college for that, then take something fucking boring. Do business. But if you want something that's going to be your passion, the hell with college.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's kind of the question of how much do you like money?
Yeah.
How much do you like money? Like, are you willing, imagine yourself I assume that this guy is probably fairly young, and I say imagine yourself at give it 35, 40, somewhere around where we are, like in a kind of crappy place, I guess some people will get ground down by having to live short, right? You're not going out to fancy dinners. You don't get to take vacations. You got to fix the stuff yourself. You don't have all of the fancy stuff, right? You've got basic stuff. So some people, if you're following your dream and you're willing to just do whatever it takes to follow your dream, then you're okay with that. On the other hand, I got to say that if you do major in business, then I hope that, and I know how this sounds. It's going to sound kind of shitty, but I don't mean it to. Let me finish. I hope that you really like money, because chances are that whatever you're doing with your business degree is probably not going to be very fulfilling to you as a human being.
Yes.
So the thing is that if having money is more and stuff and that freedom that comes with that is better for you, is better in your mind than going to a job that you fucking loathe every single day, then that's perfectly viable. And we talked at one point about the whole, like, a lot of people put a lot of weight on the whole follow your dreams, engaging your passions, but sometimes it's okay to just want to be able to live comfortably in a nice house with cool stuff.
Some people, that's what they want to do, and that's what I did for the longest time.
Right.
I was at a job where I made great money,
Yeah.
and I hated it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do film production and stuff like that, so I got out of that job, and shortly after getting that job, I have ended up trying to get some movies made, had a TV show on Nat Geo, and I don't have any education in film or direction or anything like that.
Right.
So I mean, follow your passions, but
if film is
it depends on what you want. How comfortable do you want to be?
Right.
How much do you want to sacrifice? Are you happy with just living in the suburbs and going to a cubicle job? Then go for that business degree.
And you know what? I don't like. I think that it's really important to. It's something that's come up, at least in my mind, in the last 10 years, that there is a universal sentiment that what you just described is shitty, and it doesn't have to be shitty. Like, I'm kind of tired of people being like,
want that though.
Some people, they go to work, they turn their brain off, and they do their job diligently. They
then
work
they go
their
home
way up.
and they work on their fantasy football league or whatever.
Hang out with their wife and kids.
They are so happy.
Right. And,
find out what's going to make you happy, man.
Yeah.
And do the shit out of it.
Because now the other thing is, I mean, if taking animation has any kind of parallels to film, I can say that, like, most of what I got out of my animation training was terminology.
Yeah.
So when somebody says to you, dolly left, you know what that means, or you want, a 2T shot or something like that. That stuff and all that stuff you can, like you said, read in a book.
Yeah, but Jacques, college isn't the answer for everyone. Maybe it used to be.
Sure.
But now there was this cartoon that was going around. It was like, what? You're not going to go to college? You're going to be a loser. Blah, 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 blah. What are you doing? And then there was, the person goes to college, and then, oh, you went to college, and now you've got like $60,000 in debt, you idiot.
And no job.
Right. Yeah. So, with, and I know film production is a very specific thing, but man, you can get that without college.
Yeah.
You certainly can. I know plenty of very successful people who did not go to film school.
Isn't it funny how when we were young, like, that was the line that you got from all the older people was, you have to go to college.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like
you will be a Fight Club.
Fight Club, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, well, Dad, what do I do now? Well, you go to college. Okay,
Right.
Dad, I went to college. What do I do now? Well, you get a job. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, you get married and you have some kids. You know, it's like, that's dead.
Yeah.
That is done.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, follow your passions. Make sure you do what's going to make you happy. Realize the sacrifices you're going to have to make, and balance practicality with your dreams. Don't be an idiot about it. Unless you want to be just a broke-ass artist your whole life. Fine, do it.
Hey, you know what? There are worse fates. I mean, on the other side of what I was saying, if you made me work at a cubicle job for 40 years and be comfortable with kids that I hated and a wife that I didn't want to be with or whatever, as opposed to being a broke-ass artist my entire life but still being happy with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that shit, like, you know what? When I watched The Wolf of Wall Street, I was like, the main character in that movie, I'm like, you seem like an empty shell of a human being.
Right.
You have nothing inside of you.
You've got billions, and you're horrible.
You're a detestable fucker, and I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire because you're just drugs and hookers. And I'm like, you may be the prettiest person in the world and have the most expensive car I've ever seen, but if you're fucking dead inside, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit how rich you are if every day you want to take your own life because this shit's so shitty?
And don't tell your parents we're telling you not to go to college if you don't want to. Or do. Fuck it. I don't care. Tell them.
I want him to tell his parents, hey, I sent this question into a podcast, and here's their response, and then I want you to film them with your phone while we're talking. And I want your parents to go, who are these people?
Yeah.
Do you know these people?
We've got experience. We've got your best interests at heart, Jacques. Good luck. Let us know what you do.
Okay. One last question here comes in from Catosphere. Catosphere says, hello, Jeff and Jason. Been a long-time listener since the Spill days. However, this is my first email. Not sure if you have heard, but Walmart has rolled out with a new program to buy and sell used games. Seems in the article that they are aiming to dethrone GameStop. Was wondering you guys' opinion on whether or not you think this is a good move on Walmart's part, and do you think that they will be able to give GameStop a run for their money? Keep corrupting the minds of the innocent. Catosphere.
Yeah, I saw something about this, and I think I don't know if they're going to be able to give GameStop a run for their money. They might impact GameStop's profits, but GameStop is a fucking juggernaut. Now, I'm not a fan of either of those companies, really.
I hate Walmart.
I know. Yeah, I'm not a fan
hate
of
them
either
more
one.
than I hate GameStop.
Okay.
I really do.
I don't. But if Walmart getting into this arena is going to end with the death of one of them, then I encourage it.
If it's going to end with the death of one of them, it's going to be the death of GameStop because Walmart is a juggernaut.
Yeah, Walmart's a bigger dog.
GameStop is big, but Walmart could afford to run that side of their business at a loss for ever.
Yeah.
And never make a dime on it and just to fuck GameStop,
Yeah.
you know. But, oh, God, I hate Walmart so much.
I mean, I'm not going to be going in there regardless into either one of them.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe Walmart will impact it, but I kind of doubt the ability for Walmart to really jump on the way the market is right now, to really jump onto that business model.
I think that both of these are going to be a moot point in 10 years.
Well,
I mean, you know,
right.
We're running towards digital distribution.
That's why
anyway.
I said the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Best Buy doing that, but Best Buys are shutting down left and right, and they haven't really made a dent that I'm aware of. But digital distribution is just going to obviate this argument. It's going to be done.
Yeah. In fact, I'd be interested to know in call it 2 years, like how many people are buying stuff on the PS4 or the Xbox One. I don't know. You know, it's funny because I get the feeling sometimes, and I'm not trying to be shitty or anything, that the folks who are into used games, the folks that buy used games, right, that they are very vocal. I mean, the PlayStation 4, you know, there was very much an outcry about the Xbox One and then the PlayStation 4 and that whole thing. But I wonder just how many people are buying games used. I really do.
I think quite a few still.
You think so?
I really do.
Okay. Because I mean, I haven't been in a GameStop for a while, but the place, whenever I go in there, they never seem to have more than like a person or two in there. It's not like the place is mobbed. Best Buy, I don't see that many people checking out their used game selection. I guess I never, when I go to retail outlets, and I know that this is subjective experience, type of thing, but whenever I go, it's not like I see people. Like I tend to see people picking up new copies of stuff and not the used copies of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. It's weird. See, I think that at this point that that most of these companies have figured out that if they just put their games on sale, that they're eating GameStop's lunch, because if Tomb Raider is just $20 brand new 3 or 4 months after it's come out for $60 new, then you don't need to go to a GameStop. You just buy it online. Who gives a fuck? So I don't know. I don't like Walmart, and I wish that they would go away. But other than that, I think that
I hope they both lose.
They both lose.
Yes.
You're a Target man. You're waiting for Target to come swoop in and take over both.
I like Target more than I do either one of those.
All right, folks. Well, that is all the questions that we have for this week. The email address, if you'd like to send your questions in, is mail@rageselect.com. It is mail@rageselect.com.
And send Jeff pictures of your nether regions, too.
Somebody sent me a picture of balls, but they said that they weren't theirs.
Oh,
they
that
downloaded
doesn't
a picture
count.
from the internet.
That doesn't count. You failed.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys can do better than that.
So, yeah, we got a lot of questions last week. So, yeah, keep them coming, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Rage Select Magic Memorial Podcast. And until then, we'll see you later.